Hey there, role players, gamers, geeks, freaks, and everyone in between. It's Deacon Blues, and we're back with another episode of Southern Expanse. That is our 5th edition homebrew setting for Dungeons and Dragons. It is set in Oiala-ndor, which is known as it's Elvish for Foreverland. And of course, DeaconsTable is, we role play with that in our Discord. We role play with that on the stream. This is the second stream dealing in that world. We have, I've already posted in the chat ways for you guys to join up with Discord and come play with us and be part of the fun and the excitement. So we really look forward to that. Just to tell you what DeaconsTable is a little bit here, DeaconsTable is an all-inclusive community of gamers, role players, video game players, and so on. That basically we just like to get together and hang out and play games. That's what really it's all about, without judgment. So all are welcome. Anyway, guys, I am going to kick over and load up our stream right now with our very special players. I will let everybody know as well that we are not professional voice actors or actors in any way, shape, or form. We are just a group of friends that some we've met online, some I've known for quite a few years. But again, we're just a group of friends that like to play games. So bear with us. Sometimes the quality is not 100%. We are working on that. It's a work in progress. As time progresses, we'll get better webcams and better microphones and all that other kind of fun stuff. So really appreciate everybody out there coming and tuning in, both on YouTube and on Twitch, of course, our primary channel. So we are streaming to both. And as an affiliate, we can do that now because Twitch changed their policies to allow for dual streaming. So really excited about that. So now we're not just limited to one. We can actually show off over on YouTube as well. So without further ado, guys, bring in the cast. And I am going to go around my table, and we're going to talk about the character that you are playing. Tell us a little bit about them, whether it be appearance or something about them that you think everybody should know. And we're going to start off with John, because John is to my right in the screen, or I guess my left, and yeah, my right. Over here, this side. So, you have no volume at all at this point, John. Let's see what we got. Now we're not getting any microphone from you. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, we're gonna come back. Yeah, I thought it was well, I know it wasn't Monday.
There we go. That one's back on now.
Yay!
You caught me right in the middle of futzing around trying to get it to work from the
What were you doing? You were doing what?
I had it unplugged.
No. What were you doing? You were futzing around? Is that what?
Yep. Futzing around trying to get it fixed.
My goodness, futzing around. That's a new one. I won't be able to watch the whole stream. That's okay, Jen. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in. It's Tuesday. Every Tuesday we're here, or for the most part, we try to be here. So yeah. And Dang and Gray's Adventure. Whatever that is. Okay. All right. Anyway, so John, let's talk about John.
John, the cannon guy.
He's the cannon guy, yeah, the starboard cannon guy. Okay.
Yeah, the firer of Tony and Ezekiel.
Okay. Yes. John has named the 2 starboard cannons. So he has his fun, and his fun can sometimes be chaos for the enemy ships. And then let's move down to Daksha. You're muted. Yay!
Oh, no, I was trying to unmute it. I clicked on it, and then it didn't unmute, so then I had to click on it again. I played Daksha, the elephant that is very excited about hopefully getting to do her surgeon job on the ship, even though she's a carpenter, and curious when someone's going to need to have a limb taken off.
The rest of us are kind of hoping not to see you practice that.
I know.
And Tinkle.
At least not on us. Give her an NPC to play with.
Hello all, my name is Patrick, and Tinkle is the small pirate.
That pretty well sums up Tinkle. Well, sort of, kind of, yeah.
I skipped over like a big piece of Tinkle.
Yeah, there's lots of big pieces missing for Tinkle.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gabriele.
I am biting my tongue.
Me too.
I play Gabriele, the Triton warlock, on board the ship.
Yes.
And you may see a tentacle or two around.
The occasional tentacle swirling up from your
Yep.
ropes.
Get in trouble.
Okay.
And sometimes hold Tinkle overboard.
Yeet him. Yeet
Yep.
the little pirate.
Yeet the
I'm
little
okay with
pirate
that.
halfway across the ship.
And Whistler.
Hey, I'm playing Whistler, our Kenku sorcerer, and also our vigor, who likes to hang around the crow's nest. Very cranky little pain in the ass.
Yeah, in general. And now, where we last left the crew of the Tainted Heart, they have recently defeated the Sea Scorpion, the orc vessel, pirate vessel, that was out on the waters. They did board the enemy ship. They did find their target cargo, which is an artifact that's to be returned to the monastery in Elderlock. While also boarding the ship, they did raid the cargo hold and take aboard whatever cargo the orcs happen to have had, which will of course get sold off once they're back in port. We did lose a party member, but in a way, they're not completely lost. He has been recovered. He is actually, when I went back to check, I did things a little bit backwards. He is at basically whatever hit points he's been brought back to. I'm not sure where everybody left him, but he is at 3 levels of exhaustion.
You're welcome, by the way.
So 3 levels of exhaustion, it puts him in really rough shape and pretty much bedridden for a couple of days at least, heading back to Elderlock. So with that in mind, what is everybody doing as the ship has turned about and is heading back to Elderlock? John. Sorry?
I am caring for my cannons.
Okay, so you're looking after the cannons, making sure they're cleaned and polished and ready to fire. Daksha.
I'm making sure all my duties are taken care of, and then after that, just kind of trying to kind of mingle with everybody, try to get to know them a little better, make sure everyone's healing from the battle, stuff like that.
Okay. Gabriele.
I'm also doing what I was asked to do and making
Introduce
sure
Daksha to Tony and Zeke.
Huh?
Was that?
Sorry, I didn't mean to step on your description there.
Oh no, we just couldn't hear you.
No, I was saying I'll introduce Daksha to Tony and Zeke. My cannons.
And Whistler, what are you doing?
Honestly, this is going to involve Daksha as well. Whistler's actually going to approach Daksha as the newbie. And basically, he's going to just walk up, grab some paper. He's just be like, pull a feather off himself, dip it in some ink, and he's going to be like, tugging on Daksha's clothing.
What are you wanting?
Turns it around. He goes, "Need more paper and ink."
And I am supposed to have this.
Can you go get it? Sorry, can you get it?
You know, you're not in port. You guys are not in harbor. You guys are at the open sea right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm assuming that we're going into town soon.
At some
But
point,
in the
maybe.
meantime, she's going to go raid the ship store.
She's gonna go ask around the rest of the individuals if there's any paper he can have.
So I was assuming we were going to Elderlock's port.
You are, eventually. It's going to take more than a week's travel.
Okay,
Let's
so
see.
I'm gonna write down when we get to port.
Ah.
Yes, because asking around on the ship, you really, other than the fact the helmsman, for navigation purposes, and the captain has paper, the rest do not. It's not something that is openly available on a pirate ship. But it is, I mean, some people have it, but you are going to have to figure out some method of your own, because carrying around a quill and an ink jar, because your feathers being plucked from yourself really doesn't really work. When you dip it in the ink, you scratch a couple of lines, and then the ink dries out.
Yep.
Quills need to be properly set up, hollowed out for them to use properly. So you will have to look forward to that when you get back to Elderlock. So turning now to Tinkle, who is recovering and tired and exhausted. Your boss leaves the helm for a short period of time to come down to your chambers, and you are given a potion of healing
Ooh.
that she helps you down, and you will gain 13 hit points back, which should put you probably close to full.
That is max.
Okay, so you are at max, but you are still exhausted, at least for the first 3 days. So let's see. Let's do, actually, you can roll for the first day out. Let's see. Tinkle, you can roll me a d20.
Do you want a fortitude or just a 20?
No, just roll me a 20 seconds.
Woohoo. Oh, 1.
A 1. Okay. You, as you're going, you notice.
Is that for me or for the boat?
That's basically for the ship.
Okay.
That's for events that are happening and going on. There has been a change in the weather. You do notice, Tinkle, you're down below deck, so you're noticing a rocking a little bit, more than usual for the ship. So obviously the swells are kind of large at this point. Those of you above deck, actually, John, you're in on the lower deck where the cannons are. You notice some waves, some water splashing up and into the side. So obviously you're keeping those particular the cannons, you're keeping them dry, as the other gunnery individuals down there on the on the port side are doing the same. Just making sure that nothing gets too wet, so the rust doesn't. You don't want it to rust. It's got to be dry.
Yeah. I will batten the hatches
Okay.
and lock the wheels on the cannon rollers, so that they're not rolling around below deck.
Okay. So you are securing the cannons, making sure that the openings are closed up at this point in time. Whistler,
Rigging for weather.
What's that?
Rigging for weather.
Okay. So Whistler, you are up top, dealing with in the riggings, especially now that Tinkle is down and out for the first couple of days. You are the primary in the crow's nest. You definitely see a storm to the south. Looks like it's coming in this rough direction. And the swells in the sea are picking up. Make me a survival roll, please. Survival check.
Survival check. Okay. That's a 19.
Okay, with a 19, you're pretty sure that that storm will intercept the destination of the Tainted Heart probably by midday tomorrow. And it looks like it's a pretty nasty storm that's coming in. So what do you do?
Okay. I am going to do my typical warning sound. Just go, ah, 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 and just keep pointing towards the storm.
Okay. So people on the deck do hear that. Gabriele, you're actually one of the people below him on the deck, working around, making sure that things are picked up and the ropes are coiled and so on. You hear him. You're the first one actually to hear him do the alert sound, which you're familiar with, and he is pointing to the south. Make me a perception roll.
All right. Okay, let's see. That is a 7. I am going to be using physical dice now.
Let me guess, you need mine?
Yes. The digital hate me.
Use my new Merlin dice.
Ooh, I like it.
They're the sharp edges too.
You could use your liar's dice.
Yeah, I don't think I can use my
Oh,
liars.
I can see.
Okay, so hearing him make the squawk that I am familiar with, I'm going to use my awakened mind to telepathically speak to him,
Okay.
as I often do, and be like, "What is it? What are you making the alarm for?"
Go on to the south. The south.
All right. I'm assuming I don't see it.
What was your perception roll again?
7.
Yeah, you see some darker clouds, but nothing really sparks for you. Daksha, where would you be on the ship?
Well, like I said, I was kind of like I do my rounds of checking the ship, but then after that I mingle with the different people, help where I can help. So I'm just kind of wandering around the ship and just kind of making.
So would you be on deck or below deck?
Probably on deck.
Okay, make me perception roll. Because you also hear the cawing at this point, and you see his he's pointing off to the side.
Yeah,
See
because
how
Bliss
my
is not gonna
digital dice
Bliss
are
is not
doing.
gonna shut up until people realize it.
Daksha to play doctor with you.
Would I be able to smell it on the air? So I can roll it.
What was your perception roll?
Not one.
Nat 1. Yeah, it looks like clear sailing to you. I don't know what the problem is. Let's see who else can. Oh, okay. So you got 1, 2. So you had 2 individuals other than those 2 of the crew that heard you. Oh, and out of that, one person actually sees a storm, and you see them going up to the helm to speak to the helmsman.
Thank you.
So, a few minutes later, you guys do hear. Sorry, I'm just pulling up my information on. Yeah, crap. Where is everybody? Where did they all go? There they are. All right, you are look at. So the helmsman speaks to Jaroslaw. And Jaroslaw is, of course, the gift bosun that is always there. The captain is currently not on deck, but he is starting to make his way down the stairs, and it looks like he's headed to the captain's chamber. But as he's coming down, he does call out, "Batten the hatches, incoming storm." So that is, you guys do have that command.
Okay, so
John, you've already been doing that. Daksha, are you
yeah, I would help out where I can.
proceeding? And Gabriele doing the same.
Yeah, making sure shoring up the ship as much as possible.
Now, Whistler, are you staying up in the crow's nest for now, or are you coming down to help with the battening down the ship?
I would say probably would try to stay up there to make sure to keep an eye on the storm to make sure it's not coming faster or anything.
Okay.
But at the same time, I'm also going to try to like mentally project the thought down to Gabrielle's head because I still don't understand this. He doesn't still understand how that works. He just goes thinking down. I told you so.
Isn't that how you got injured the last time?
Yes.
Yeah.
You stayed
Precisely.
up there during the storm.
Yes.
Yeah. Precisely.
You're a glutton for punishment, aren't you, Whistler?
I'm making sure it doesn't come early.
All right, so you
Well, I
guys,
can always help you if something gets broken.
you guys join in with the numerous other crew in preparing the ship for a incoming storm. Nobody knows exactly what magnitude yet, but everybody is doing their part. Because you did spot the storm, the rest of this day does go uneventful, for everybody, other than the fact the seas are rolling and those clouds are there is definitely graying clouds above your head by the end of nightfall. There's no
Hey, Chris.
rain. Yep.
Sorry to interrupt. While this is all going on up there,
Yeah.
I was wondering if I could rummage through my bag with Borrowing Nature and see if I could find something that I've potentially picked up that would help my stomach and help get rid of some of this fatigue. Maybe I picked up something by chance has just appeared in my bag. Because I'm really not liking this feeling.
Understandable. Roll me a d20.
I am going to use my Kender luck and re-roll that.
Okay.
And that's a 13 on the die.
Yeah, 13 on the die. Yeah, you know what? You looks like you have some kind of potion that you've picked up. It's not even like a full dose of a potion, but you think you recall where you picked it up, and it might help with your exhaustion.
Okay, I down it.
Okay. Make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, come on. What did I ever do to you? 17.
Okay. So you lose one of your levels of exhaustion. So you're now basically level 2 exhausted. So that after your night's rest, you'll be basically a level 1 exhaustion
Perfect.
for tomorrow. So
I'm going to sleep.
okay. So you do go to sleep with the rocking of the ship. Some people find it easier to sleep. Yes, Whistler.
As part of my preparation, am I allowed to cast a spell?
Okay, the night before the storm?
Yes.
Okay, what spell are you casting?
Weather Eye.
Okay, explain the spell. So everybody in chat understands what it is. And what
Weather
you're
Eye.
casting.
First level divination, cast time 1 hour. Range personal. Components visual, somatic, and material. The material being a bowl of water. Duration 24 hours. You can more accurately predict the weather, gaining advantage on survival checks made to forecast weather conditions. If control weather or similar effect has been used to influence the weather within 10 miles, you become aware of it.
Okay. All right, so you take the next hour of your time after dinner, I'm assuming. You prepare a bowl, you start doing the ritual. You guys see him, doing some form of casting over a bowl.
New
And,
spell.
comes up, and the bowl seems to have almost like a cloud forming above it briefly, and then it dissipates. You see the water in the bowl ripple on its own, as he does this. So for the next 24 hours, Whistler, you are aware of any weather changes. So you retire for the evening. The next morning, because you did spot the storm, you can roll me the d20 for the next day.
Okay. $17.
Okay. With a 17, your weather eye is telling you that the storm has shifted direction. The waves have gotten a little bit higher for the ship, and you're getting a lot of roll the ship. And the helms woman is making adjustments as fast as she can. It's difficult to control a ship with the swells as high as they are going in this direction. You do hear a lot of talk down below, but you're not sure what's being said. But I'm assuming you are reporting these changes of weather to the helm.
Yeah, I'm heading right over to the helmsman. I'm just gonna do what I did to Daksha and go.
Okay, well, Daksha's not at the helm.
No, I'm saying I'm doing the same thing to the helmsman as
Okay.
I did to Daksha. Just
Oh.
tugging on her outfit.
Okay.
Just tugging on her outfit to get her attention. And then
Yep.
if he doesn't get her attention right away,
You get the attention.
Okay. He just grabs a random piece of paper he has. He just writes down, "Storm shifted." And he just writes down where.
Okay. You get a nod, and then, obviously she goes back to
Waves higher.
trying to control the ship. So with that, the next day is pretty much a wash, other than the fact, there are, the waves are so bad that even some of the pirates are having a little bit of trouble keeping things down. A lot of them have switched over to rum with their thing, trying to knock themselves out as much as possible unless they're on duty, actively on deck. If you guys want to do anything during this particular day, let me know. Yes, Tinkle.
Well, am I feeling better this day now?
Yep, you only have one level of exhaustion. You're tired.
Okay. So I'm gonna grab a piece of cheese, a little bit of bread. I'm gonna go up, and then I'm gonna help at the wheel.
Okay. Your help is very much appreciated when you do get up there. Jenny is all smiles, even though you know that smile can definitely be very, very dangerous at times when she wants to be. But it seems very genuine at this point. She's got a sweat building because it's been difficult, as you can tell, trying to steer the ship in the continuous westwardly course, and the swells are causing the ship to roll quite a bit. So she is really working. So yeah, she does definitely use your help. Can you make me an athletics check, please, and add your proficiency modifier?
That'll be a 16.
16. Okay. So you're helping up at the helm. Anybody else?
Oh,
Oh.
One other thing is I'll say I could take over for a little bit with a big grin, and I go, I know you missed me. I'm here. And then I start singing a jig. Even though the rain's going and everything, I have a big smile on my face. I'm
Okay.
flipping my hair back. It's wet a little bit. I'm just enjoying myself.
All right. So you're sitting there doing the whole, this monster wheel is the little
Big
pirates up there.
smile.
You anybody going by Tinkle sees that the knuckles on his hands are like white from gripping the wheel, but he's got a smile on and he's singing a song and doing his thing. Anybody else?
I think Gabrielle is helping out where she can on the ship. She's enjoying the weather with the water and everything else. I will say I think that she would check to make the scuppers were open, so it doesn't go into the bottom of the ship, and the water goes off the ship, not in the ship.
Right.
And she's just doing her job, probably singing along to Tinkle, and just enjoying herself.
Yep, you're doing your part, and there are many other crew members that are also up there on deck with you guys. Some are running to and fro. Some have already taken to tying themselves to the mast, which is something that you've seen, on a few occasions. Some of the more experienced seafarers do have basically almost like climbing gear on their belts, where they hook themselves in, so that if a swell happens to come up and over the edge of the rail, which they're starting to, they're not going to get carried away and carried out to sea. So, Daksha, are you doing anything specific?
I'd probably follow suit on hooking myself to the lifelines, and kind of hoping that Tinkle gives her issues because she wants to spray him with water now that there's plenty of it on top of the ship.
He looks like he's pretty occupied at this point, as much as he's trying to sing his way out of it. But yeah, he does look occupied. John, everything is secure down below. Everything's polished up. A little bit of water comes in here and there, but not too much. Anything specific?
Nobody knows where he found it, but John is running around like Parasol trying to keep the water off his cannons.
That's cute.
Like running around below decks with a little umbrella trying to keep the water drops from hitting his cannons.
Okay.
He's in love with his cannons, isn't he?
Yes, he does. He loves his cannons. And Whistler, anything specific other than watching that storm still?
Whistler's going to be doing his best to try to make sure everything's ready for the storm. Overhearing Tinkle, he's actually going to try to help Tinkle along, maybe try to help raise the morale of the crew, and start mimicking him in his music.
Okay. Yeah, you can definitely do that. So the morning goes by. You guys are quite busy most of the morning. You do obviously take your breaks for chow time and visit the kitchen, where the cook is dishing out various dried rations at this point, along with your rations of rum and whatnot with your meal. So that's the morning does go by. Now during the afternoon, a few things do happen. First, Whistler, you sense that storm front has been altered magically.
Altered magically, you said?
Yeah, you mentioned that your spell for 24 hours gives you the ability to know if it has been...
Yeah, okay. I'm immediately heading over to the helmsman then. And I'm just going to...
The helmsman currently is Tinkle, and Tinkle has got his hands full. However, Euroslaw is there, up on the aft castle.
Okay. I'm basically going to head over to the gift, Jaroslav, I think his name is.
Yeah, Yaroslav. Yeah.
And I'm not even gonna bother with the whole tugging on the thing. I'm just gonna straight up walk behind him and just go, which is basically his attempt.
Yeah,
to try
hey
to-
you. He turns and looks.
Okay. He grabs another piece of paper. He just says, "Storm changed, magic involved."
Okay. So it takes a good 10, 15 minutes for you to scribble that out with the ink and making a mess and everything, dipping it, redipping it, so on. It's really, really becoming an issue. You're going to have to start figuring out words of mimicking if you can. You're starting to realize this now, or you've definitely got to get a notepad and a charcoal pencil or something.
Yep. Hence why I'm using Daksha for that purpose.
So you do inform him. Yaroslav goes down into the captain's quarters, speaks to the captain, and the captain then you see out on deck conversing with a few of the individuals, all members of her officers aboard the ship, and just kind of keeping them informed of what is going on. The rest of that day passes, and your spell expires. So moving into day 3. John.
Excuse me, Chris.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Sorry. Is Whistler aware that Gabrielle understands him?
What?
Whistler knows that when Gabrielle uses the ability, she can understand. But she has to actively initiate it first.
Meaning he has to get her attention, and then she can do it.
Would it
But
not
she can
make
be
sense?
with for him.
Would it not make sense in times of emergency for him to go fetch her to translate instead of finding paper and a pen?
Yes and no. Partially, I think it probably would be easier for him. However, she's got her own duties to attend to on the ship, as do all the crew members. So unless she is off duty, that really poses a problem for her. Because the last thing she wants to do is be punished for neglecting her duties, just trying to translate for Whistler, who has to be an independent crew member on his own. So, regardless of that, you guys do manage to sleep away the swells. Nobody does go overboard during this. Day 3, John, you're going to roll me a 20-sided dice.
Come on, mouse. D20.
Yep.
And we got a 7.
A 7. You awaken, and it's pretty quiet down below deck, and it's pretty dark, other than the oil lanterns that are hanging but not lit. And there is some light coming through some of the hatchways, but it looks pretty dark up top. Those of you on deck, Tinkle, you're no longer exhausted, obviously, but it's difficult. Like you're strained, you're tired still, but you're not actually officially exhausted, just because you put in a full effort's work steering that ship, helping with the helm the day before. Whistler, as you come out to take your place on deck as well, you and Tinkle are standing there. It is dark. Those clouds overnight have really darkened. However, the sea seems to be a little bit more calm. But it is dark. Like it's almost night. But you know it's morning. You know it's probably around 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning. But you can't really tell.
Question.
Yes.
we obviously wouldn't have had a long rest because we were working, right?
You had long rests. Everybody gets a long rest unless.
Okay. If that's the case, I'm casting Weather Eye yet again.
Okay, so you cast it again on the day 3. With Weather Eye. Okay, so that's gonna take you. That takes you an hour to cast, right? So,
Right.
Tinkle.
Okay. I have my keen eyesight, so when I'm up at the helm, I'm up above more of the ship because I'm up there.
Yep.
So I'm keeping an eye out also because I got a good view of the horizon. So and then also too, as I'm there, I put the helm's belt on, and I always lock myself in just in case we get a surprising storm that comes upon. I don't have to worry about it either.
Okay. What's that, John?
Rogue wave.
Giant wave. Okay, sorry, it's really hard sometimes to hear you.
A rogue wave.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you don't want to. You got to watch out for those for sure. Daksha. What are you?
Again, just making sure that she's prepared in case like she's tied down, and making sure that the ship is handling the beating that it's getting from the waves. Making sure that nothing's coming apart or anything like that.
Yeah, even you're a little taken back when you come up on deck to realize the ship's not even rocking really.
Okay.
Normal movement, but it is
That is
so dark. It's hard to tell. Gabriele, what are you making of all of this?
When I come up on deck, and I see how dark it is there any way I could do like an Arcana check to see if there's something magical in play?
Sorry, what are you gonna use to check?
Arcana, but she's thinking that isn't natural. And
Yeah, you can attempt an Arcana check.
being a warlock, that's why she's gonna try. I don't think it'll work, but I'm gonna try. Ooh. Hey, Naomi. Can you verify?
That's fine. If it's a 20, it's a 20. I trust you.
I wanted to make sure that, because you
I
can't
trust
see
you.
me. Okay. I just, But yeah,
So
nat
with
20
a nat 20, you are 100%, convinced that this is magical. Something is creating this entire situation. Whether it's a storm, it looks like a storm, but it doesn't at the same time.
Mhm.
Moving
Could
to... Oh, go ahead.
I was like, can I tell what kind of magic it is? Or
No,
just
that
it
you
is
can't.
a-
Just that it... Yeah. I mean, it's a magic beyond your capabilities. You know that. And it's definitely arcane.
Yeah.
It's not divine at all. Whistler, you know from doing Weather Eye, the storm, it's here. 100%. You are in the storm. And you are 100% certified that it is being controlled using magic.
So
Again.
I'm guessing we're in the eye of it.
It looks that way, but you don't recall, even through the night in the reports when you guys come up on deck, there was no one saying that the storm blew in overnight. It just seemed like the morning came and boom, this is the way it is. It's not like it blew over or whatever and swallowed you into the eye. No, it didn't seem to do that. But looks like you could be in the eye.
Okay, gonna head back to the Houndsman, which I'm guessing is Tinkle again.
Jenny is at the helm.
Okay, I go up to Jenny. I just go, get her attention, start writing down the new changes.
Yeah, she kind of looks and looks at you and does that, and again relays all of it to Jaroslaw. who does the whole relay, running around the deck and letting everybody know what the situation is. But you do see all the officers are already all on deck. They're all talking amongst themselves here and there. So you do notice that. You also see her look over at Tinkle and go, Tinkle, man the crow's nest.
Yes, boss.
Which
But
you know,
need to come over
Whistler
here and
is
take the wheel.
he's taking over the crow's nest view at this point. John, you are below deck. You come up briefly as you normally do for your morning, whether it be your coffee or your breakfast or what have you, whether you eat below deck or up deck. But usually most of the time you come up on deck for at least a little bit. It is pitch black. The storm clouds are so thick you can't see any trace of sky, and yet the water is completely calm. What are you doing?
Walking around muttering, trying to think, okay, I need to get parasols ready because the water's gonna come.
You put the mic a little close. Unfortunately, I hate to do that to you, John, but every time you speak, you're probably going to have to keep the mic up.
Yep, but he's just gonna wander around the deck muttering to himself about like the water's on the way. The water's gonna come. I gotta get my parasols ready and protect my cannons.
So you're just rambling almost like a mad person.
And drinking my coffee and like walking the deck and like I gotta get my parasols, gotta get get ready.
Okay.
It's gonna be really funny once he gets the notification that it's here.
Yep, you guys, you know that the day goes on.
Gotta keep my babies dry.
Nothing seems to happen. So we have that was 3. Yep. I'm gonna have each of you in turn roll me a 20-sided dice, please, and I will ask for them as the time comes up. And each one, they'll let you know, is a day.
Need to roll again, Chris, or does my roll already?
No,
been
everybody's
counted?
got to roll again right now.
Just a die 20?
Just a die 20. We are going to start off, actually, with Tinkle.
I got a 7.
Okay. Right, so that's 4. And Daksha?
So did I.
7. Okay.
Yes.
And Gabriele?
I got a 17.
Okay. 6. Yeah. Whistler?
I didn't do much better than the other two. I got an 8.
8. Okay.
Right here.
And John?
That's why I'm using invisible.
I got a frickin' 1.
Okay. Basically, that day goes by, as strange as it is. Come the next day, it's no different. Seas are calm. The ship's not moving very fast at all. There's very little wind, and those storm clouds are above. On the next day, same thing, although you do see some lightning crackling up in the clouds. And it looks very active up there. Nothing's coming down, nothing's leaving the clouds, it's still not even raining, but it's definitely coming down. The next day, you see, and this is Gabriele's roll, there is a slight break in the clouds just for a couple of hours where the sun beams down and shines down onto the waters. Make me, anybody who would happen to be near the side rails of the ship, not looking out at the horizon, but anybody that's near the side rails of the ship can roll me a perception check.
Why not?
Well, I'm normally up in the crow's nest or I'm at the wheel.
Yeah, I think for right now you're in the crow's nest because that's where she wanted, which means you're probably watching the horizon more than anything.
I want my physical dice back.
I actually rolled because I think she's walking around and trying to help where she can and just end up.
Yeah,
near
you're
it.
you're a swab. Your job is usually on the deck. So
And that would be a 19.
okay, so you rolled a 19. Whistler, did you roll anything or no? You wouldn't be there. You
I
told me.
would normally be in the crow's nest, but when I'm not, I'm usually going around, making sure everything's prepared, rigging.
So you're dealing
wise,
with the rigging. So yeah, you wouldn't be looking at the water. John, would you have been spending the rest of the day down below deck again, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Babying my babies.
Okay, so you're looking after your babies, and Daksha, you didn't roll very well. I take it. No.
I got a nat 1.
Okay.
I want my physical dice.
No.
Yeah, you were actually going to walk by Gabriele, and as she's looking over at into the waters as the sun ray is shining down. It's kind of a wonderful thing to see. You trip on the rope that she was coiling, just kind of oblivious to what was going on. I mean, not a big fall or anything, but you just kind of stumble, so you really don't see anything. Gabriele, as you're looking down and you're following this ray of sunshine streaking through the clouds and hitting this completely still water. It's kind of a very like a tropical blue, almost like you see in some of those movies where you can see some corals underneath the surface. You know that they're probably way further down than what they look. But it's really clear water at this point because the waters are so still, which is surprising considering the storm cloud raging above. You see a shadow pass beneath the ship.
Do I recognize it? Or what it could be?
Roll me
She's-
an Arcana check.
Because at first glance, she's gonna panic. I'm just saying. Oh dear. Arcana?
Yep.
18?
You're not sure the exact nature, but you know it's a dragon.
Oh dear. I am immediately going to go to the first ranking officer I see, because I don't know if the captain is on ship.
Yeah, they're all on ship. Right now, the closest to you would be a Sankir, the individual that sometimes has wings.
Mhm.
And
I'm going to
he's got the head of an
very
eagle
quickly-
and talon feet. You know that. So
I'm going to very quickly go over there.
Yep.
I'm not meaning to bother you, but I think we might have a dragon under the ship.
what?
A dragon.
He
I saw a
immediately
shadow.
turns his attention from you and yells, "Dragon beneath the waters! Dragon beneath the waters!" And you guys all hear this, and everybody jumps to action, securing their safety harnesses and everything else, because they're not sure what could go of this. Even the captain at this point goes up near the helm and takes over from the helmsman, and she clips herself to the ship as well. So it is steady going. You do see an individual you don't see very often, and that would be.
Why the fuck did it have to be underwater? I can't shoot the cannons underwater. Couldn't be in the air.
You see an individual from below deck you don't see very often, classified as one of the swabs, but you see the captain speak to the cabin boy, which is Hebert. And then Hebert goes over to this other individual who's kind of almost looks like a stowaway, to be honest with you. You've never had any kind of interaction with them yourself, but you know they're always, usually they're a swab of the lower decks, looking after the cargo hold and the bilge and everything else. So definitely not the most presentable individual. but you see them casting. Taking a step back against the center mass and casting. What's everybody else doing at this point? John.
I'm just gonna like get myself safe below decks, and I'm still muttering to myself about why it had to be underwater. I can't shoot underwater.
Daksha.
I think she's listening very carefully for both sounds of the dragon and also what he's enchanting. She probably won't know what it is, but
Okay. Because you're listening.
I wonder if I drop a cannonball over the edge, could I hit this thing?
If you just dropped it over the edge, I mean, you'd have to really time it perfectly, but it's hard to say. As a cannonball hits the water, and this dragon is just swimming with ghastly speeds beneath the waves.
Just brainstorming here. It's like, okay, how do I hit this?
Yeah, you really can't. Cannons are practically useless against a sea serpent or a dragon in this case. But you do know the ballistas can come in handy. Occasionally the catapult, but even that's not like.
I mean, do we have harpoons aboard?
That's
for
usually what's put into a ballista is like giant spear-like thing. And it wouldn't be a harpoon, but a spear-like projectile. Pretty massive. So that's, I mean, there is someone up on deck. That is where Sankir is standing beside anyway. It's the ballista. So he is already up there.
Do we have any of those that can be rigged for firing from a cannon?
No. No, nice try though. So Daksha, you can make your perception check
okay.
because you were listening and everything else.
Boy, he's trying, isn't he?
Of course.
I really want my physical check. I got an 8.
An 8. Okay. Yeah. So you're really oblivious to it. Tinkle, what are you doing during this?
Well, what do I
announcement?
see from up there? I'm looking around. Am
Are
I
you-
able to see what's down on deck going on?
Are you looking specifically onto the deck? Are you looking into the water? Like what's like you heard the call? There's a dragon beneath the waves.
I heard that.
Everybody on the
Okay.
ship would have heard dragon beneath.
Well,
the
then I got bird's eye view, so I'm going to really be looking around to see if I can see a dragon anywhere or something underneath the ship.
Okay, make me a perception check.
That's 19.
19. You definitely see this shadow beneath the waters. However, with a 19, you're noticing something else. There's nothing else beneath the waters. There's no, you're not far from land to the north. Like you guys are on the southern coastlines. There's usually the occasional coastal bird. There's nothing. But every once in a while, you see the passing of this shadowy shape that's probably maybe 3 times as long as the ship and just as wide. It's pretty big. Whatever,
Okay.
like it looks like it's a sea dragon of some kind.
Do I see Gabriele down on the deck?
Yes, she's actually clipped to the thing, the steering, and she's near the edge rail looking down on the
Okay.
rocks.
So I scream her name.
What? I look back.
You see me doing this.
Okay, I'll telepathically talk to you. What's going on?
The dragon's 3 times the ship, and there's no animals or birds or anything around here.
Oh, great.
Let's have fun. This is gonna be fun.
This is not fun.
It's a dragon. I want to go ride it.
You're going to die.
No, I won't. He's gonna like me and call me George.
You're going to get eaten.
Dad.
You can make me a history check, Gabrielle.
and pet me and call me George.
Exactly.
Oh dear.
Actually, call me
Squeeze
Tinkle.
him. Squeeze him. Squeeze him.
Okay. You said history?
Yep.
$21.
Okay, you are definitely familiar with. There are a few variations of sea serpent or sea dragon. Not all of them have reported hostile, but a good many of them. They're still dragons. Their egos always come into play, as do their hordes. If the ship happens to be near one, it could be a problem. A lot of the times, though, they will just pass by sailing ships without getting involved because, again, they know there's a risk factor involved. They know the ballistas are heavy weapons. Again, it's below the surface. It doesn't know what's on the deck of the ship. So, again, I mean, you've known various, as a Triton, you know of various tales of sea dragons, some of which have brought down entire ships by wrapping themselves around it, breaking the actual hull in half. They've known to do that, but you've also known individuals from your species that have been acquaintances with sea dragons, and some, yes, have even ridden them. But again, it's anybody's guess.
I think that I'm going to try to reach the captain, use my telepathy, because it might be too dangerous to unhook right now.
Yep.
And ask her for permission to try to talk to this thing.
Oh, okay. So the captain kind of gets your message, as I'm sure you've done a couple of times over the past several years. She's like, permission granted. Before we get to that, Whistler, what are you doing?
Squawking.
What? Squawk, quack,
He's
quack.
squawking.
Squawk, squawkity.
He's just squawking? Is that what Whistler's doing? He's squawking? Quack, quack,
Oh,
quack.
sorry, I didn't realize you were talking to me. Sorry. Whistler's just going to tie himself to the mast. He's learned from the last time a bit that he doesn't want to go overboard again, so he's tying himself to the mast this time. Especially after hearing what, if he heard what Gabrielle was doing.
No, he didn't.
So okay.
Gotta remember, when Gabrielle does that, it's one person only when she
Right.
directs it.
Right. So either way, I'm tying myself to the mast.
Okay. So you are.
She goes dragon.
You're securing yourself. So Gabrielle, you've been given permission to speak, or try to, with the dragon.
Yay. So I'm not breaking you off. Yay.
So are you doing this verbally, or are you going to use your mind?
I am going to attempt to use my mind
Okay.
because I think that might be a better option.
Okay. And in what language are you attempting to mentally?
It just says I have emissary of the sea, which says you can communicate simple ideas with beasts that can breathe water.
Okay. So you
Didn't
are
know if that
basically
was better.
you are conferring with it in its natural language.
Yes.
Okay. So what are you saying?
I am asking it why it's under our ship. Did we get too close to something of its? And we are not a threat. We don't wish to harm it. And are we a threat to it? Basically trying to find out if it's hostile, if it's friendly, if we accidentally stumbled on something of its.
Well, first things first, you get a response of who is this?
This is Gabrielle. Who is this
Gabrielle.
I'm speaking to?
You don't get an answer. Gabrielle, from where? I don't see you.
I'm above.
You are filthy human.
No, I am not a human. I am a Triton.
On a human ship?
Yes, on a humanish ship. There are very little humans up here, actually. Various different races.
Why are you in my waters?
We are just trying to get back to Elderlock. We mean you no harm.
What is Elderlock?
It's a place. Trying to get back to port.
Port. Ah, another filthy human thing.
Yes, it is. But we're just trying to get there.
What
And
is on your
apologize.
ship?
The people.
What else?
A very large loxodon.
What's the loxodon?
An elephant creature.
What's an elephant?
Kind of big, makes noise, stomps around.
I'm big, but I don't make noise or stomp. I can thud things. Watch.
Okay.
Everybody make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Sorry, I'm trying.
She's gonna get us all killed.
I'm trying.
Finally, some fun.
Okay. All right,
Can I
John.
use my
I
acrobatics?
made a 19.
Okay, so you're fine. Acrobatics, yes, you can. If you want to use an acrobatics instead. Daksha.
Okay, mine is a 14.
14. Okay. And Whistler.
A 5 total.
5. Okay. And
That
Gabrielle.
one, he gets hurt.
I got a nat 20.
Not 20. You're fine.
It
And
might be a
Tinkle, what
good
was your
thing that
acrobatics?
He tied himself off.
I didn't add my modifier, but I got a nat 20.
That's fine. You're fine. So Tinkle, what did you get with acrobatics?
I'm holding on. I'm smiling. And I got 26.
Okay. So most of you are fine. Most of the deck crew are fine. You do see Sankir get sent flying away from the ballista. However, he is attached, so he doesn't go very far. You see one of the riggers fall from the rigging, but he was tied off and doesn't fall all the way to the deck, but he's probably going to have at least a sprained ankle where the ropes were tied to. You do see one of the deckhands, one of your fellow swabs, Gabrielle. He gets thrown to the edge of the ship, and he had not fastened his tether properly, and you see the clip just kind of give way, and he's overboard.
Oh dear.
What you saw, Gabrielle, as you're having this communication, is this massive beast kind of do a whole circle around, and its tail comes up, and what you guys see is this long serpent-like, probably easily 6-7 feet around, ending in what looks like these bluish gray fins in all directions. Comes out, and it swacks the side of the ship, and it sends the whole ship rocking back and forth. The ship has Daksha, you can also make a perception check.
Oh dear.
All right. You have my good die.
Sorry.
That's a 13.
13. You know that the ship took damage on that as well.
Oh dear.
All right.
Not sure exactly how much, but you know it took damage.
Can I tell that
I locked
this?
your wheels.
Well, I probably don't have what languages do I have? I do.
Mhm.
Can I try to help her? I can talk Draconic.
Okay. So you are speaking to verbally? You're going to lean
Yes,
over the
I
edge? Okay.
yes.
So after
First,
that
I would probably
incident,
tell the other carpenter that the ship took damage, and I'm going to try and keep it from taking more damage.
okay,
I
so
have a
you
question.
approach Gabrielle at the edge of the ship. So the two of you are sitting there. So before I get back to the
Mhm.
conversation, Whistler, are you doing anything specific?
I am going to cut myself from the line. I am
You
heading
just
over
unhook
to,
yourself. You don't cut yourself.
well, you know what I mean. I'm heading over to the side of the thing. And I'm going to cast shape water to make those ice blocks to allow that person to get on the ice block. And I'm just gonna be just shouting down to that person, going,
So you've gone to the edge of the ship to cast that spell to do the ice stairs, trying to get the attention of the person over the sea. Tinkle.
What do I see from up here? As I'm
Uh,
enjoying this. This is
you
fun.
you see Gabrielle just leaning over the edge of the rail, and you see that long coiled serpent-like creature under the waves. You've seen the tail come up, hit the ship. You see Daksha now leaning over the rail with Gabrielle. You see Whistler at the edge of the rail, but he's not strapped in, but he's leaning over. It looks like he's casting a spell. John is below deck. Everybody else is kind of being chaotic. Sankir is readjusting himself and getting himself positioned on the ballista. Seems to be turning and aiming it towards the sides of the ship, the starboard side as it happens to be. Yeah, that's what you see.
Okay. As I'm going, and this is fun, I start singing at the top of my lungs.
Okay. So you are
I
singing.
see a dragon. I'm loving this.
Okay. Some of the crew hear you, but I mean, they're just kind of shaking their head at you a little bit. John.
Off the magic dragon. Off the sea.
He's by the
Tried
sea.
to
This is
smash
in the
my
sea.
cannons. He tried to smash my cannons, but I locked off the wheels real tight.
Yeah, actually, you're below deck. You can make a perception check.
Hold on. $20.
Okay. You do know that the damage the ship took was on your side of the ship, but was the deck below you. Not in the middle deck. It was the lower deck. So you do know that. Gabrielle.
I'm gonna look for carpenters and try to direct them down there to keep us afloat.
Yeah, the main carpenter is kind of looking through the second level. You steer him downstairs, and he goes down to start tending lifts down there. So Gabrielle and Daksha, you guys are leaning over the rail. Daksha, you are verbally trying to communicate, and Gabrielle, you are, still
Don't let
using
my
your
baby
mind.
sink.
So
I would have called up to the captain. Permission to
yes,
in its
speak.
native tongue.
Please do.
And so, greetings, great beast. I have very much honor for you.
With that, it seems to coil in circles. And then you see this massive head rise up out of the water, almost like a corkscrew as it comes up. And its head is, even though the body is still twisting around and turning and writhing, the head is focused on the deck. And the head is probably the size of the entire front of your ship. It's just a massive maw. And again, these fins almost look like feather plumes. They're bluish gray, and they come out from around the head, and these big long tendrils come down from its maw, and these massive teeth, and it just kind of Who are you speaking in my language?
I was taught by my fellow monks. My name is Daksha.
Gabriele and Daksha. Two non-humans.
Yes,
Human ship.
it is our only way to pass through the waters.
What is on your ship?
So she'll try to go through things that are, the basic stuff, that, there's different rations on the ship, speaking of the different foods and things, stuff like that. Start with that. And she'll also relay the question to the captain as well.
The captain responds back in common. Do not tell them anything about the cargo hold.
So yeah,
Do I
again,
hear?
she does do the like the rations, the foods, the
Gabriele,
kind of
you're
raves
speaking.
about the food.
You're speaking in its mind. Make me a perception check.
Okay. Let's see, perception. Perception. 16?
Yeah, it's enough to know that it understood the captain.
Oh dear.
Can I hear anything up there?
You hear it kind of making fish sounds, like almost like the squeaks.
I
of
do
a
speak
dog.
Draconic.
Okay. It's a version of that, but it definitely sounds more like dolphin-like, whale-like,
Okay.
and so on. But yeah, it's definitely draconic. But so you're hearing it speak, and then it looks up to Daksha because you're the one speaking to it directly.
Mhm.
And what is in this cargo hold?
I am against orders to speak of that. But I would like to honor you as much as I can. We look very much up to you. And she'll actually do like a very monk special kind of like bow that she learned because they worship dragons from
Make
her
me a
monastery.
persuasion. Make me a persuasion check.
Okay.
Persuasion. This is an important role, this one.
Yeah. And I don't have a very big modifier on persuasion.
Is there any way I can give her assistance?
Yes, you can.
Because okay, I give you assistance.
What does that mean? I forget.
I believe it's
It's your advantage.
it's a it's
Advantage?
a disadvantage. Yeah, you're just helping.
Give me my good die.
Here. You should let me. I have a plus.
Nat 20.
Yay!
Give me my good die.
Okay.
Give me the good die back.
You do realize as you're having this conversation, which goes back and forth a little bit, it questions the fact that you're forbidden, you've been told not to speak of it, whatnot. It just seems to kind of be listening intently on what you're saying and putting two and two together. Must be nothing of great value, or humans would have attacked by now. Perhaps I shall let you pass my waters.
I would greatly appreciate that.
Thank you.
And I'm up there and I go, "Hi, great water dragon. You look awesome."
And you're speaking in Draconic as well?
Yep.
It kind of stops, goes beneath the water, dives back down. You lose sight of it. But anybody on, you guys are kind of looking over the deck. You don't see anything at this point because it was just there. Make me a perception check at disadvantage, Tinkle.
Tinkle, you better not have screwed this up.
Meanwhile, below decks,
11.
John is just
What is it?
11.
11.
I do
Yeah,
have advantage with perception too.
yeah. Well, that would have just canceled it out, right? So, you're startled as a voice, but an also warm, salty smelling breath on the back of your neck from the other side of the ship as this thing has coiled up all the way to the mast in the water like a corkscrew. And its breath is looking at you in the crow's nest as you kind of turn and you're startled with this massive head looking right at you.
Oh, and then I turn around. Oh, you startled me. Why did you do that? I was very straightforward and said that I was
You
here.
are
Why would
far
you
from
surprise me?
home, little one.
Yes. So are you. You're outside the water.
You are a long way from home.
Yes.
I don't
Right
see
now I am.
your
But actually I'm not
kind
because the ship is my home.
here. And it's sniffing. Yeah,
What's that?
it's sniffing you like, yeah.
I sniff it back.
It smells like seawater and fish.
You smell wonderful.
Thank you.
I do
As I smell my
apologize.
smell.
It kind
So
of
my new
spirals around and then dives back under the water. None of you guys are still looking up over the other side. And all of a sudden the shadow comes back up to the starboard side of the ship. No one else was aware of what just transpired. You, Tinkle, you have a feeling that it knows exactly what you are.
At that point, I dive into the water.
So you leap from the crow's nest up and
Whee!
over the thing. Okay, so make me a
Oh, that's a
acrobatics check, please.
Oh, dear. Tinkle overboard.
good
Oh,
God,
Nat,
don't land on the deck.
Nat 20, 29.
Nice. So you basically do a flip and this pirouette in the air and as much showmanship as you possibly can. Look like you're posing like this all the way down until right the last minute you dive into the water. You dive in all of 10 feet from the dragon. As you have now entered the water. And in the water, you can see it's clear blue waters. There is no other sea life. None. Down here. Other than this massive, and I mean, when you look back and you're under the water, you look back, you see the shadow of the hull of the ship. And then you look over to this beast that, as I said, is about 3 times as long, but the same girth around as the ship. It's just massive. There's no wings or anything like that, just fins and a long tail. There is, does have legs, does have small reptilian-like arms. It looks like it could probably crawl on all fours out of the water if it need be. And it's definitely. Okay, so how long are you staying under the water for? What is your intent? It just seems to be observing.
If it doesn't come back over after I say hello, I start swimming up.
It's about 10 feet from you, like as I said, and it's circling around, not making any direct action against you at this point.
I can't speak underwater, so I tried.
Yeah,
So I'll go
you hear these high pitched. You know it's speaking, and you can understand bits and pieces of it. But again, you're underwater. You know, so it's hard to tell. But you're getting. Actually, make me an insight check.
And just to let you know, I've rolled a 17 for my athletics.
Okay. For swimming.
Insight?
Yeah.
Okay. That is a 15.
15. You are getting the feeling that it's not hostile at this point in time. It's more curious about you than even at this point. It's been kind of has replaced the curiosity of the ship itself. It's just kind of observing you and watching as you swim up to the surface and then climb back onto the ship.
Actually, I don't climb up. I'm
No.
swimming there waiting for him to come up. Or her, or whatever it is.
It comes up.
You're awesome.
Thank you. You're different.
Can we be friends? I really want a dragon friend.
I've never been friends with one of your kind.
There's always a first.
That
You'll be
actually
my
would
first. I can be
Maybe-
your first.
A persuasion check.
Okay.
That actually would be a great honor.
Now I do have something with persuasion, so give me 1 sec.
They could pop each other's cherries.
Maybe, and you'll be jealous. Because it wasn't you. But I still like you.
You're just hoping it's the dragon's female. Because there's a big one for you.
17. I know. Oh, 1 sec.
We shall see.
Just let me check something. I know there's something with persuasion, so please just
Okay.
give me 1 moment.
I think Gabrielle's just watching this.
Shaking her head.
Yeah, probably like debating, do I have to go in there and rescue this idiot Tinkle again?
Well, you are, Daksha, you can understand what's being said between the two of them. Gabrielle, you were still speaking in the mind, so I mean, unfortunately, there's a connection there, but unless you speak draconic, the verbal
Yeah.
part you're not getting. And then actually, Gabrielle, if you still have that connection open,
Mm-hmm.
you hear Gabrielle.
Yes.
What is it with this Tinkle?
He's very interesting, isn't he?
His
harmless.
kind is very, very rare.
Hmm.
No, that's it. Sorry, it's a 17.
Okay. Which it's kind of throwing you off there, actually, Gabrielle, when it says his kind is very rare. As far as you know, halflings and gnomes or whatever, they're not that rare. Well, maybe in this part of the world they are, but I mean, you've never really known them to be that. But these
Halflings aren't that rare.
halflings,
Yeah, sure people.
halflings are the ones with hairy feet.
Not sure about his feet, but they're the short people like him.
I don't think so, but should I be his friend?
Sure. Do you like singing?
I don't know.
I think it will be interesting and very entertaining to be his friend.
Very well, it says in Draconian. Tinkle, I shall be your friend.
I've received a great honor, Tinkle.
You are amazing. I got a dragon friend. Can
Of
you
course.
lift me up to the boat, please?
Before she breaks the link, she
Yep.
is curious and is gonna ask, why do you say he's rare?
I've only seen one of his kind before. And that was a long time ago.
I see.
Question. Have I been hearing Tinkle's conversation with the...
Do you speak Draconic?
No, but I can mimic it.
Okay, so if you're mimicking it back, like who are you mimicking? It or Tinkle?
I'm going to actually mimic Tinkle. And I'm going to use his I want to be a friend line.
You
as
wouldn't
well.
understand that it's I want to be a friend though. That's the bad thing.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
So if you're doing mimicry, you're probably doing the whole spiel all over again.
Yeah.
Almost word for word. And
Yep.
you're getting odd, like an eye pokes up, like looks up to where you are standing on the deck doing all this, and you were just casting the spell, by the way, and you know, asking the guy to come up, and he's slowly making his way up those ice stairs, by the way, trying to get up there. Doesn't
Can I,
respond to you though, because again, you're mimicking, so you sound like Tinkle.
Yeah.
It's looking more confused than anything else now.
Can I explain it to him?
Okay, what are you saying? Because it looks confused.
That is a crewmate. He cannot talk in his own voice. He mimics others. He does not know
Oh,
Pranic.
he's one of those. I know there's a couple of bird folk types. Don't see. No, don't see that type very often either. Almost as rare as Tinkle.
Where is Tinkle?
Doesn't say
I did not
anything.
realize Tinkle was rare.
And
Oh,
it
I'm
looks
unique.
right at you, Tinkle. It looks right at you, and they don't know.
They don't know what.
They don't know what you are.
I'm me. What's so special about me?
Tinkle.
Trickery.
I was found many years ago in the water, and I don't know how I got here or where I came from.
Well, I know that they think you're halfling. I know you.
Oh, I know I'm not halfling.
Not
I
a
know I'm
halfling.
not halfling.
And I know you're not a gnome either.
No, I'm not those stinky people.
No.
Not a gnome. Oh, not a
Yeah, you're
halfling.
hearing this, but he's not.
Yeah, because it's in Draconic, so I know what you're saying.
He's not coming out and saying it because obviously you haven't said anything, so he's
Right,
gonna
he's
leave
being
it at that.
respectful.
So you have you have a friend in me. and it dies under the water.
The only reason why
Thank you, Great Dragon.
I think as when it's clearly leaving, Gabrielle will go have a good day and thank you and disconnect after it talks. It was
Just be careful. Stay out of my waters normally.
assuming that
We can try.
I'm sorry. My bad.
And it's gone. And as it goes, you guys notice the storm clouds start to break apart. And the sun start coming through. And some of the wildlife in the water start slowly coming back into view, whether it be a dolphin here or a shark in the distance or what have you. But yeah, you're noticing that as things clear up.
Tinkle.
So anything you guys want to do at this point? As a,
John
I'm gonna
has just been giving shit to the port side guys, like, lock your cannons down. Come on, guys. And then he's like, I'm gonna go look after the rum.
okay.
I'm just gonna try to get that crewmate onto the ship and make sure Tinkle's on the ship as well.
Oh, Tinkle has no problem getting up onto the ship.
And as for the other,
After
He
Okay.
climbs up. He climbs up the rigging on the side of the ship.
okay, what were you saying, Lord?
after it leaves, she just visibly just lets out a sigh of relief, looks at Daksha, looks at Tinkle. I thought it was gonna see us.
Captain
At least it wasn't
Zalira
okay.
comes down from the quarter castle and comes onto the main deck and approaches you as a group. And Tinkle, you're just climbing up over the rail at this point. So, what was all that about?
I have a friend, and it's a
We-
dragon.
We entered its territory,
Well, where
and it was upset about that.
It thought that we
she called Jenny down to meet with you guys.
Mhm.
So this is its territory.
it's
Yes.
the first thing. Yes, the first thing it said was, "Why are we in its waters?" And I apologize for it being in the water, for its waters. It asked what was in the ship, and I told them us. I think it was stomping like a loxodon, so I apologize.
But where is its
Mentioned
territory?
stomping like a loxodon.
Well,
And
asked
it's-
what a
it's-
loxodon was.
She's looking, her and Jenny are kind of looking at each other a little bit confused and having conversation. So this is its territory.
That's what it said. And it said, "Don't come back into his territory." And I said we'd try, but this is the only way we have to get to things. And it didn't like humans at all.
Jenny,
Luckily, most of us are not human.
yeah, the captain kind of smiled, in her, with her bluish tinted skin and her pointy ears, and her tattoos all over her face. She just kind of smiles from ear to ear with her very colorful tricorn cap with the feather sticking out, which is it's red feather today coming out the top, and she's just kind of, well, Jenny, make sure you put that on the maps that this is dragon territory. Never had
I
a
do
problem
not
with it
know how
before.
large.
Here there
Territory
be
is.
dragons.
Yeah, but basically, yes, here be dragons, and we not be here. It's best to be.
Well,
And
if we
take-
do come back, I would like to see my friend the dragon again.
what's
He
his
did
name?
She would
actually
probably be
become
fine.
friends with Tinkle.
What's
Do not know how
what's
that
his name or her name?
Dragon.
It
Not
didn't
give
give
it.
one. I
Ooh.
asked for one, and it didn't give it. That's all.
Then it's
Dragon.
very old indeed.
Blue water dragon.
Puff.
Yeah, it's bluish gray was the fins on it anyway, and even the scales were kind of like a shiny, shimmering blue gray as well. More gray than blue, but you get that blue shine to it when the light hit it. Beautiful thing to see, but if not terrifying.
We got lucky. Sometimes they're nice. Sometimes they're not.
Yeah, you've Gabrielle, you've probably heard more stories about sea dragons than anybody on the ship, even the captain. And you do know that they do have abilities in general. You've heard tales of an entire ship just being so struck with fear, they all just bailed and jumped overboard. Everyone on the whole ship. So I mean, they have. Well, obviously, it was controlling the web to a severe extent of the situation. So you do know that could have gone in a entirely different direction. Which again, I apologize for all those dice rolls, but they were all for a reason. So,
You're fine.
and any given one of them could have turned disastrous for everybody
Oh, yeah.
on board. So
I thought many of them did.
I think she's gonna look at
We
the
were very-
captain. Thank you for allowing me permission. That's could have been worse.
God, I think my dice roll came at the end after after we spoke to him.
Yeah, most likely. So for the next couple of days,
I rolled that nat 1.
yeah, that was
Go.
that was bad. That's why actually the Nat 1 is what led the dragon actually to the boat. So it was going to bypass.
Curse you, John.
Yeah.
The next few days, I'm writing a song about my friend the dragon.
Love it.
Okay.
Puff the magic dragon.
I will say that sometime, at least maybe once a day or so, the next few days, as she's doing her stuff, occasionally she'll just kind of tilt her head, like listening or something, and then just keeps going on.
Whistler's going to head over to that person who fell overboard, and he's going to show him how to properly fasten the damn thing so he doesn't have to fall. He's just like,
You pick up on the fact that is one of the new crewmen that came on board the last time you were in Elder Lock, and looks to be maybe, well, he's human, but maybe about 15 years old, and most likely this is the first time at sea. So he is very attentive to watching you clip this thing on, and seems to be like, you see his hands trembling. You know, he definitely had a fear situation. To be thrown into the water with a sea dragon was a little bit, a little bit much. So
I'm writing a piece of paper. Almost did not last a week.
Oh, I will say. At
yeah,
some point,
it's been several weeks, but yeah.
Oh,
I think Gabrielle.
almost did not last a month then.
He may decide to leave the ship at the next port.
I think at some point, Gabrielle will come up to Tinkle and go, you know, you're lucky I like you.
And why
I
is
could have
that?
told her to eat you.
Oh, that would have been an adventure. You should have told him.
And asked me if I thought he would be a good friend. I said yes.
You're not a very good friend if you didn't tell him to at least eat me for I could see what's inside him. I'd be the first,
I should've.
You guys
whatever
have,
I am.
okay, and you're all
To be a
standing
I'm
in.
honored that you became a friend to a great dragon.
Yes.
So?
He's friends with a great dragon.
Mm-hmm. Next time I see him, I'm going to ask him if he could swallow me for I could see what's inside him.
Oh dear.
Am I hearing this conversation?
Gabrielle, where would you be having this conversation with Tinkle?
It was probably later that day. It was just wherever she managed to have found him.
Okay, most likely probably up near the helm at some point. So yeah, there's
I
make
thought
a
it was like right
perception,
after we had
make a
talked
perception
otherwise.
check, Whistler.
7.
Yeah, you don't hear it.
Oh wait, no, sorry, an 8.
You still
That
don't
much
hear it.
better
Yeah, you don't hear their conversation. So, so you
now.
guys,
Better.
several days go by as you are sailing back to Elderlock. Yep, go ahead, Daksha.
Within like the next so many days of us sailing back, I think Daksha will kind of see if Tinkle's interested in learning anything that she knows about dragons, so that hopefully he won't irritate any dragons in the future.
Do you say that to him?
Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna. I would like to teach you what I know about dragon.
That'd be great. But then he
Hopefully
goes like
not,
this. You see this little halfling, little guy go, but I don't annoy dragons. You do. That's why I
Me?
have a friend and you don't.
Just be honored.
I am honored.
Daksha, make me an insight check.
Daksha, okay. I'll do it inside.
You want the good dice?
I should have used the good die.
I asked you.
Inside, that is a 12.
A 12. Just dealing with Tinkle at this point in time, it's different. Especially after the conversation, a couple days pass with the dragon. He's unique, just kind of pointing things out. You've never, ever, you've met lots of halflings. And you've met more than a handful of gnomes. You have never met one like him. Clearly an adult, clearly lots of experience, but almost like a little kid all the time. And especially at times like this. It just seems to be like, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you're just something you just notice
Yeah.
that. That's all. But after, as I said, several more days, you do see the city of Elderlock come into view on the horizon as the ship manages its way into harbor to the dock. Yeah, like you didn't. Dragon friend. Yeah, exactly, dragon friend. But you do see the harbor come in. The ship does dock a little bit further out in the docks this time around, not where it was before. It's on a lone dock by itself, so it does, tie up to the moorings, and you guys are given shore leave to go ashore. There's going to be extensive repairs needed on the ship. Individuals are being recruited and gathered up, not from you guys, because you guys are all, you're being basically rewarded for your work with the dragon. And actually, John, you're also being rewarded for taking the lead initiative down below deck with the cannons. And you're told that you can take shore leave immediately, while others are being told they have to get the cargo into the harbor master to negotiate its sale, so that there's funds to pay for the damages on the ship. And then the division afterwards will be what everybody gets at that point.
And the port gunners are probably scurrying to get away from John and his.
Yeah, a little bit. They're like, yeah, good riddance. You go do your thing. You had a question or something,
Carry your
Tinkle?
cannons.
Daksha's just absorbing the personalities of all these individuals.
There's
nod
quite
her
a few of the
head.
different ones. Tinkle, yes.
Okay.
Hang on. Listen.
First off, Tinkle was trying to say something.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tinkle.
So when we get permission for shore leave, I look at everyone and I go, we're going drinking and I'm telling our story and it's going to be great.
That sounds right to me.
Okay.
Daksha, do you drink?
You get a
No.
few
Oh,
people
yeah.
look excited by that, going, yeah, and then they realize they still got to work.
Okay. At that moment, Whistle just gets this grim look on his face, just like, and he's just going to quickly waddle over to Daksha. She hands her a piece of paper that says, "Remember our deal. Get paper, quill, and ink. I stay here."
I think looks
Why
over.
do you not come with us?
Whistler, are you coming?
Yeah, if you're staying here, you're going to be put to work.
He
At
is
that-
perfectly fine with that.
At that point, Tinkle goes behind them and starts pushing them off and walking towards the end of the boat. And he goes, come on. And if he doesn't, I kind of pull
Oh.
a feather and say, let's go.
Okay. I'm going to roll
I
a
think Gabriele is going to curl a tentacle around Whistler and pull him as Tinkle is pushing.
And Daksha kind of sidesteps the whole
So
thing.
Tinkle's
and
like
just walks-
pushing, and tugging on your feathers, and now you've got a tentacle that comes up from under Gabrielle's robes and wraps around you and starts pulling you.
Okay. Unfortunately, now
John is going to check his funding and see if he's got enough to make his monthly payment.
I'm sorry to say,
Not yet.
Tinkle, you've asked for this one.
And he's going to stow it more carefully this time, remembering last time he got robbed like 3 times.
So what are you doing in return, Whistler?
As Whistler is being pushed, he's showing a face of absolute panic. And he instinctively just casts Chill Touch and pokes Tinkle with it.
Okay.
And then he basically
The look
is
on your
walking-
face, is there a reason behind the look on your face?
He does not want to go on the streets of Elderlock at all.
Okay, keep in mind, you have been in Elderlock Harbor before. Have you never left the ship?
Ever since he got on the ship, he has refused
To go into
To get
any
on-
port?
to get onto any Elderlock port.
Okay, so, Tinkle and Gabrielle, make me a intelligence check.
Okay.
And at this point, he's
Before
just going to be-
you cast the spell. just to
Yeah,
give
because
them a chance.
technically they would have been around you for like 2 years. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they would
And
know
not
that
20. So
Yeah.
24.
20.
You
Dirty
know-
20.
Okay, so both of you're kind of tugging on him. You start to sense him bristling up as usual. You know that he does not go into port
Fair enough.
in Alderlock.
Yeah.
He's never has. He just seems, whether it's fear, you don't know if it's fear, you don't know if it's something else, but you know that he's always been resistant to this.
can I roll insight as I watch this?
Yeah, do
see
you
if I
guys
can kinda
continue
read him?
first of all?
No.
Okay, so
She
Gabrielle
will
stops.
uncurl the tentacle.
Okay.
And because she was only doing it for good fun.
Yeah.
But when she notices
That he's
that-
reacting.
his reaction, she drops it immediately
Okay.
and wraps the tentacle around Tinkle and pulls him away.
Okay, so Tinkle, what are you doing in the process? You're being kind of tugged by Gabrielle, but are you still kind of pushing at Whistler or no?
Well, if Gabrielle is, I was going to stop and go
Mhm.
around. If Gabrielle is trying to reach for me, I'm going to dive and tumble out of the way and go and stick my tongue out at her. And
So
then
all
I'm
this
going to look up at him and wah, 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 and he starts stomping off the boat like a little pouty little kid.
And he just
Look
and he caught at you and he stomps off the boat. Daksha, make me the insight roll.
So I used what I thought was my good dime.
Yeah,
I
no.
rolled a nat one.
Yeah, you have no clue. Yeah, you're oblivious. So
I
the
think
rest
so.
of you go ashore and you head down the dock and
John
you see
is just gonna.
Yep.
John's gonna pull his hat down over his face, like I don't know these people.
yeah, at
Try
the,
to
sa-
skulk away.
at the same point in time as you guys are now on the docks, and you've come down, you're probably trying to stick with the group as much as possible, considering you don't have your month's payment as of yet. Mind you, it hasn't been a full month yet. It's coming due soon. So hopefully the pays are divided at some point. Hopefully there's going to be some pay left, depending on the cost of repairs of the ship. But yeah, so you are with these guys and you're heading down the docks and you're headed into Alderlock. It's later in the day. It's probably, the sun has gone down. So it is like past dinner hour as you guys make your way in. And there are lots of places in Alderlock to drink and find establishment. One place in particular, John, but you don't want to go there, and that's quite a trip.
Unless I've got my cash.
Yeah, and that's quite a trip into the city. However, you guys just go through the harbor market, which is kind of like an open market or bazaar right past the harbor master. Just before the warehouse area, you pass that, and you're heading towards these massive warehouse-type buildings that are there. And you see a sandstone structure that is very, very old. It looks like parts of it are crumbling away. There are timber frames that are supporting it here and there as well. And you do see what looks like the prow of the ship, of a ship sticking out of the building above the door, and there's a sign hanging from it, and the sign is basically old driftwood, but in red writing on it in common, it says the Bloody Barnacle. And you guys know that this is generally one of the rowdier places. It's more comfortable for pirate life, to say the least. It's quite an establishment. You can find all sorts of people there. You can make all sorts of connections and deals there. And the nice, good thing about it for Tinkle and John, you know that none of the guilds operate out of here, per se. There may be individuals practicing here, but they're not guild affiliated, to say the least. But that is what you see. The building it's one story. It's, as I said, it looks very, very old, sandstone and timber. And as you make your way into the door, do you go in as a group, or how everybody's going in?
Well, I'll be the first one to go in.
Okay, so
I'm just going.
Tinkle's just in the door. He doesn't even hesitate. He's in, and the rest of you kind of follow him behind. What you guys are seeing is there are about 5 round tables to your left. There are several square tables to your right, along with maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 round tables as well. One bigger round table, a couple of rectangular tables, a great big huge long table, and then also off to the left is this long bar with these open, like an open hearth behind it, where there's a stew hanging from the one, the other one is just there and open. There's various prep spaces behind the bar, like different tables, almost like islands that have been set up. You can see actually even in the one corner, there's like a rug on the floor, where there's some seating in that behind the bar. You also do notice that just to the right of, like almost just a little bit to your right, as you're walking in, and it's on, there's a partition wall dividing the bar and the kitchen area off from the rest of the main room. You really can't see all the way to the back. There seems to be another alcove off to the left behind the bar, but you can't see there. But there is also a couple of musicians playing currently. There's several carpets laid out on the floor, and the floor itself is packed sand. And these carpets are very ornate and decorative as they're laid out and overlapping each other. And you've got, a person sitting there playing their lute, another person singing, and they're just entertaining the crowd. There's probably 6, 8, 9, let's say about 30 plus people, plus yourselves. So that is what you walk into. With that, we are going to actually wrap up this week's episode. Yeah, it's been a couple hours. Yes, what's that, John?
Is it possible for me to find a corner table where I can sit with my back to a wall facing the room?
Most of them are.
Most of the tables, actually, if you guys want to take a quick peek, I'm not going to share it with the stream right now. Actually, yeah, I will share it with the stream right now. Why not? Let's.
On owl there.
Yeah, I'm going to transition over so everybody can see the screen. And I am going to bring up my Owlbear Rodeo. And I will put everybody on there. So we have Tinkle, who was the first one in. John.
There's my little guy.
Just so you know, DM, I'm basically making sure my hood is firmly covering every part of my face I can cover.
Thought you were on the ship.
I'm on the ship.
Okay.
While I'm on the ship, I'm just fully making sure my face is covered so that no one passes by and notices me from the docks or anything as I do my work.
Okay. Not a problem. So you guys all walk in. Basically, the money pouches are individuals or patrons of the bar. The lutes are the 2 musicians that you can see on the carpets. The individual with the mask here is looks like the bartender / waitress. There's a gentleman, rather tall, human-looking individual, but he's probably like 6.5 feet tall, but he is human. He is behind the bar. There is an open door behind the bar as well. Looks like maybe it goes into an office, perhaps. But that is what you guys see. And you guys can position yourselves where you want to go for where we begin next episode. So you guys could be doing that. And then we are...
Because I'm going to follow you guys.
So that is how everybody's laid out.
Yep, Daksha will kind of follow the rest of the group, so I'm kind of waiting for them to move their people around.
Well, where are you going, John?
Yeah, because you're the one that's the more specific of where you'd like to go. So
I think Gabriele was
I'm trying to figure it out.
There's
Mhm.
a table to the left.
There's also one to the right.
There's
all
a,
the way
yeah,
to
pretty
the
good sized
wall.
table to the right that's at least somewhat distanced from most of the other people, and there are two stools that are with your back to it on the right there.
Mhm. So you could put your back to a wall.
That'd probably be your best bet from what I'm seeing.
You guys
So I
referring
turn
to
around
this
to you guys
table?
and say, "You guys pick a table.
That one?
I'm
That-
going up to see my friends."
If this is
And I
what you're
walk up
referring
the
to,
musicians.
Okay, I will come over and join you.
all right. So John, you're over here at this table, and what about Gabrielle? Where are you heading?
Yeah, she's gonna go.
You
with,
can grab it and drag it through
grab and drag it.
Here, just over there.
Yeah. With the others.
So that's where you guys are going to be when we return next week. Very excited, very, very excited. So let's switch back to our faces, because we are going to take our turn and go around the table and talk about who you are as an individual. Who was playing these wonderful assortment of colorful characters. And we're going to start off once again. Actually, we're going to go reverse. Whistler, we'll start with you.
Hey, I'm Jack. You can see me on the Discord as RuneScar DM most of the time, and on Twitter at Black Lantern Ace.
And Gabrielle.
I am Lorelai, and I am on Discord as Grey Wolf. On Facebook, I can be found as Lorelai Redford. I do have a Twitch, but it's currently undergoing changes.
Okay. And we're going to move on to Tinkle.
Well, my name's Patrick. I'm the actor behind Tinkle, supposedly. And I on Instagram, I'm at the gaming cavern, and I just come out to have some fun with my friends.
Awesome. Awesome. Sorry, I'm just waiting on stupid SMS. Anyway, and Daksha.
My name is Naomi. I go by dag_crystal on most social medias, and a few of them as dag7, like Minecraft. You can see me on Discord the most, mostly playing on DeaconsTable.
Yep. Excellent. And lastly, John.
And I am Rob Beaudry. Can be found on the Discord as Honey Badger Rob. Or Badger Rob or something. I can't even remember half the time. It's some variant.
It's some variant of Rob.
Or Honey Badger or
Rob and I go way, way, way back as well. There was a time before.
I am I.
Yeah, there was a time before Discord was a thing. Discord essentially is IRC. I don't care what anybody says. It is exactly the same as IRC, except it's got more bells and whistles and it's more user friendly. IRC was mostly a text-based. Yeah, it's more graphic oriented.
It's better than IRC.
Yeah, IRC was all scripts and was all text back in the day. But there was a time when role-playing on forums was either play by mail or play by post, or you had what was called free-form role-playing, which was just people going into a chat room and making shit up, which is what people
That's
did.
cool.
And this was, what, 1991?
798.
Yeah.
97,
all the way, yeah. It started in 91, I think went through to 98.
Yeah, Tyler was a newborn when I was playing Cayman, so.
So we started the very first ever 24/7 Dungeons and Dragons rule-based role-playing on IRC chat using dice scripts and everything else that were all programmed and done. We had at one point, I think, almost 100 members active playing in a channel at one time. So I know there's a lot of places out there doing it
around the world.
Yeah, and there's people out there now doing it, and I mean, I guess it's new to Discord where you can kind of get involved in it 24/7. But we did this back in the 90s with with a much more archaic system set in place, and we had a lot of fun. We met a lot of great people doing that because again, there's a lot of people that were introduced to D&D through that aspect of things because freeform was mostly a lot of god players. You can't touch me. I can do anything, and I can do and everything, and your hit doesn't hit me, and so on. Because you just made it up as you went. There was no dice rolls. There was no factors.
Resolution was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. It was just a matter of saying, okay, well, my character hits your character, and then you had to decide whether or not I hit you or not. You could just sit there and go, no, you missed. And there was people out there that would do that all the time. So we got together and said, you know what? We all play D&D, or those of us that were running the channel play D&D. Let's come up with scripts and dice bots and everything else that allowed us to incorporate rules into our playing, and it made it so much fun. And a lot of characters were Rob had a lot of characters through the time, the Broken Drum Inn and places like that. So yeah, so we have a history when it comes to gaming. So I've just posted again in our chat our Discord link, so please feel free to join us. It is free to join our Discord. We do have membership levels, though, to help support us along the way. From Adventurer to Hero, they're $2.50 a month or $5 a month to help out. This grants you even more access to more options for characters that you can play in our 24/7 campaign. You can interact with the cast from the show. You can interact with the show itself on occasion. Even possibly be a guest star on the show. So that's going to be stuff coming up as well. So I just wanted everybody to know what's going on in that regard. But by the way, for introductions, I am Deacon Blues, otherwise known as DeaconsTable. You can find me on all the socials, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or what have you, at DeaconsTable. It's all the same. And you can find me here every Tuesday night running this wonderful game with this group of haphazard actors and individuals, and yeah, colorful to say the least. And you can find me on Thursday nights. We do stream Minecraft New Beginnings. We'll be joined by Dag7 and Lorelei Redfern for this week's episode, and I believe we're working on Dag7's build area. So we'll see how that plays out. Yep. So. Yes, and stay tuned for more streams, whether it be Minecraft or other games or another D&D stream. I know I have a one-shot. I am working as hard as I can on it when I can find the time between other games, which will be a test game for 1D&D using the test rules. So,
Cool.
so far it's looking, we have one character already done, very interesting non-binary individual playing a changeling. So that should be an interesting thing. So, yeah, it's something for everybody. As I said, it doesn't matter who you are, what your situation is in life. Doesn't matter about your religion. Doesn't matter about your nationality. You're always welcome at DeaconsTable as long as you show respect to all of our other members. And for the most part, please join us. But we are going to do a little bit of a raid here. And I'm going to raid, it's been a while since we've done Demiplane RPG, so we're going to raid Demiplane. I love those guys, and hopefully it's Deborah Ann Wool running her game today. Yeah, she's a lot of fun. And is it going to do it? Nope, it's not going to do it from here, so I got to do it from over here. I love Twitch. It sometimes just is a pain in the butt.
There's a lot of good things about Twitch, and there's a lot of things that are like, but that's with any system, right? There's always goods and bads of every system. So.
All right, guys. So thank you very much for tuning in. We will see you all next week, and be prepared to join the raid and stick around and watch the game there for a while, as long as she's running it. So yeah.
Raid.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next
Thanks very
week.
much.
Come join the fun.
Yep, and yes, they are. Yay. Good. Glad they're streaming. That's an interesting game, that one. I don't know you guys ever if you watched any of it. It's D&D 5e modern day ish.
Cool. My problem is I don't know how to pop the chat back into Twitch after I've popped it out. So I follow along with the raid, but I can't see them or hear them.
Bubble Alchemist, Caw. And was someone actually watching our stream? Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that's cool.
That's who I think it is. Then that's probably someone that Dagamora I brought in.
Probably.
And
That
so,
sounds familiar, but wow.
It does.
sorry, Tinkle
Wow.
and Gabrielle. I was going based on the
you're
assumption
good.
that your characters didn't know.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, your characters would have learned very quickly.
Yeah.
No, not really, because I would have stuck a finger up your butt just to stop you casting.
She was just teasing with you. But hey, at least I remembered to ask permission to talk to the sea creature. Tinkle did not.
Nor did Whistle technically either.
Yeah,
I remembered.
it's one of the rules. You have to ask permission to
Yeah.
talk to sea creatures.
Tinkle and Whistle broke that rule. Now, granted, Whistle was kind of panicking. It was he thought the reason why I was copying Tinkle was because I saw Tinkle was seemingly appeasing him. So I thought I'd try to mimic and try to help that along.
Oh, in all actuality,